Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a new episode of Boba with Alumni. Here we have Ryan Phan as our alumni. I brought out all these alumni to really bring back into the memories of ABSA and be able to get a glimpse of what they experience in ABSA and what it's like to experience after college. But before we start, we're going to have a little dive into our boba. So we got Kokee Tea right here. It's right next to U of H East Garage. So if you guys are willing to check out Kokee Tea, please feel free to look into their boba shop. They just opened. So I got you the Thai tea.
Classic Thai tea. Yep.
Yeah, the classic Thai tea. Make it safe and simple. Okay, you ready? I'll wait for you.
Alright, hope I don't spill it.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. It's kind of melted, but I think it should be fine.
I don't care. Thanks for the boba, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime. Was it good? How does it taste like?
It's a little watered down, I'll say that. it's not bad.
It's not bad? Okay. At least it's boba. At least it's something to refresh yourself with, right?
It's free.
Exactly. It's free. It's free. Okay. So before we do get started, Ryan, I want you to give us a little introduction of yourself. What did you do throughout ABSA, and what are you doing right now after work? After graduation.
Okay. Introduce myself a little bit. I'm Ryan Phan. I graduated last spring. Prior to ABSA, prior to college, I had no idea what I really wanted to do with my life. I really didn't even want to go to school, to be honest with you, because I was like, man, that's a lot of money and that's a lot of time, and I don't think I'm that smart. But my mom, she kind of talked some sense into me. She was like, at least try it, and I'll like give it a shot. What the hell is the worst that's going to happen? And they said, if anything, they would help me figure out how to pay for it. I ended up just trying harder while I was in high school. Was able to get a full ride and all that, and here I am now.
Basically, you just had no idea. Then once your parents pushed you, you were able to be like, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot since I am going to get the support, and you were able to really follow through.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really impressive. So what were your positions in ABSA?
I was a mentee for the most part, and I was a mentor for 2 semesters.
You know, being a mentor, it definitely takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of parenting, even though these are not really your kids, right? What were the 2 things that you learned being a mentor?
The major thing I learned being a mentor is that you really have to learn to manage your time, because being a mentor or being anything in ABSA really that is other than a mentee or somebody who's just a participant, you kind of realize that you have to balance school, and some of us work outside of school, and now you're taking on this extra responsibility in which you want to be able to make a difference in, and you want to say you had a positive impact on. Time management is one thing I would say I really took away from being a mentor. And another thing I would say is everybody that you meet is going to have an entirely different story. A few of my mentees, pretty much everybody was different. Everything that I have said is it doesn't apply to everybody, so everybody has to take what you say with a grain of salt. Saying that as well, take what I say for a grain of salt.
Obviously, being a mentor, it's taking things with a grain of salt, talking to these kids, being able to really know how to adapt to their personalities, how to be a mentor in general. Aside from that, being a college student itself is a really big struggle. So I'm pretty sure you found some weaknesses throughout the way. How were you able to find your weaknesses, be able to overcome them, and how long did it take you?
Okay, I got a good answer for that. This is something that I picked up on eventually, because I started noticing around me that most people in your classes, as well as in many student orgs, they tend to be very quiet and they'll just sit in the back and watch as things go on. And I'm one of those people that likes to ask a lot of questions, and one of the favorite things I say is there's no such thing as a dumb question. My point in that is that one thing I've noticed across the board is that everybody that has some sort of a question or idea, 99% of people, they don't speak up about it. And the one person that does, they make themselves look like a fool sometimes, which I know because I've done, and I'm very proud of it. But you actually make a difference being that one person that is brave enough to speak up about something. Whether it be you have a stupid question and everybody else is probably thinking it, and you just don't know how to say it, or you're kind of shy, or if you have some sort of an idea that nobody else has spoken up about, but you're pretty sure everybody is thinking.
Wow, I just wish I was like that too, because sometimes like you just have to step yourself out the box to really know what you want, or like just get the answer that you need. Like, I mean, everyone's there for a reason. Yeah, I highly suggest that you guys take his advice, because honestly, being a person with confidence is like the only way to get through life, you know?
I'm actually going to highlight something on that note. With making yourself stand out like that, even if you think you look like a fool, I'm not sure if anybody has ever heard this phrase, or I'm sure some of you guys have, but there's no such thing as bad publicity. What that means is you can be on the spotlight for something. Like, you've seen so many of these people out there that have gotten famous all over TikTok and Instagram and all sorts of social medias because they did something stupid. It ended up working out for them, and a lot of them are very wealthy now. And they made a fool of themselves one time here and there, and they made it big after that. So there's no such thing as bad publicity.
All right, so next question for you is, what do you do for work, and how is it like working a 9 to 5, working in corporate America?
I'm probably one of the few people on here that does something outside of my main job. But my main job is I am a software consultant for Spalding Ridge. So I specifically work in our OneStream practice at Spalding Ridge. What that entails is a corporate performance management and financial planning consolidation software that essentially helps businesses see where they're going financially. It kind of helps them prepare for events like this current pandemic that put the whole world's economy in the turmoil. Our software pretty much provides financial insight for companies to see how they're doing. And unfortunately, one of the things that comes with that visibility is who to lay off. So that's what I do as my main job. Outside of that, where I do a lot of work on the weekends, and after I get off this job, I work with Intuitive BMI. It's a local company here in Houston that does solutions in software development, primarily for small businesses, but we're starting to scale to larger businesses. And essentially, I work with Microsoft Power Platform. This is a platform that has become extremely lucrative to get in because it's a very new platform. It was released like 2017, 2018. It is a platform that you can develop business solutions on. And one thing you learn about in the industry when you get out of college is you'll see that the majority of the softwares and the platforms a lot of companies use, a lot of it's the same stuff, just with like different colors or something like that. And if you get in early on one of those things and you become an expert in it and you learn as much as you can about it, companies are going to start reaching out to you at astronomical rates. So I work with Power Platform on the side. I develop a lot of solutions for small businesses and middle-sized businesses, and what that entails is a little bit of software development, a little bit of software sales, a little bit of ingenuity, and late nights reading random things on the internet.
It's insane because you just didn't think that college was right for you, and you just didn't think that this was just the path that you were planning on taking. But just a little bit of support, and then you're able to not only land one amazing job, but you're also landing a second job on the side. You're getting a side hustle. It's insane. How was ABSA able to help you even get to that level of just being able to have the confidence to apply for the job or even get the job?
So that's a good question, because that's one that has touched me for quite some time. I had this accounting class where I met this guy. He's in ABSA, John Boy. He hit me up out of nowhere randomly after class one day. He was like, "Dude, you should join ABSA." I was like, "What the heck is ABSA?" And I was one of those students that was just going to school and going home because I lived 45 to an hour away. Yeah, but to carry on from that, I joined Cullen and found out everybody was mostly what I felt like I was like. I kind of blended in. There were a lot of people that were very quiet and reserved like myself, and a lot of those quiet and reserved people, they had very loud minds. His name was Philip Pham. He was one of my mentors a while back, and he is the reason that I am where I'm at today. I attribute most of my success to him, as well as my co-mentor, Derek. Essentially, I had random conversations with the two and was enlightened to find that these two complete strangers that I'd known nothing about before, who happened to go to school with me, decided, okay, I want to get to know who you are, what you do. My job today is to help you out figuring out what it is that you want to do in life. I was shocked because it's a random stranger that I've never met prior to this day or this event, or having a random conversation with somebody in accounting that so happens to want to help me out. He kind of just motivated me to want to do better because somebody that I had never known before wanted to help me out. And I felt like, man, that's somebody that I want to be. I want to be somebody that can speak to anybody and their words will mean something. So that's what I am right now, and that's why I'm here talking.
That's just one thing about ABSA is that like you don't need to be friends with people to help them out. Like that could change someone's entire life, and I'm really glad that it changed yours because I'm pretty sure you're living life large, right?
I would say I'm comfortable.
See, that's how you know you're living life large. Since you were able to be inspired by these people that really got you started and really got you to where you are now, like what would you give your advice that you've experienced so far to any of the college students or any of the ABSA students today?
Apply and learn to talk to people, because I got my job in a very random conversation with a recruiter. The company's name is Spalding Ridge, and I saw Spalding. I was like, is that the basketball company? Yeah, so one of our pre-recruiting mixer events, I looked at all the companies. Everybody knows the big four, but one thing you'll learn if you've ever gone to a recruiting fair is that those companies are the ones that have so many people waiting in line, and you don't realize it, but everybody that's waiting in line to talk to them is going to be your competition when you apply or you want a job. Spalding Ridge is this brand new company that nobody knows of, nobody's ever heard of. Nobody was in line to talk to them. Just out of nowhere, just for curiosity's sake, I went to the recruiter and I was like, you guys are a basketball company. I come to find out they're a cloud solutions company that does all of these technical things that I had never heard of prior to that. And at that random conversation, they reached out to me later on and I applied and got the job. One thing you'll learn about that as well is an internal reference is going to be more valuable than gold. You get to know somebody inside the company, they refer you, that's where it's at, Cause,
and I also, correct me if I'm wrong, I also heard that if you are a recruiter, you're just like a regular employee that is working for a corporate job or anything like that, you apparently get a referral bonus?
Yes. Like one thing you have to learn, like what I tell a lot of people, if you're ever on LinkedIn, which everybody should get a LinkedIn, ABSA kind of fronts that, get a LinkedIn, find the company that you're interested in working at, hit up a random employee, talk to them, have a conversation with them, ask them how their job is and all that, and tell them you're interested. Reach out to these people. They're going to want to talk to you. They're going to make some money off of you,
Let's talk about corporate America a little bit. I know the 9-to-5, 40-hour work week is very scary to most, if not all. What is like a myth that you've heard in general, like by society, all around social media? Like, what is something that you can keep up that is not true?
I just want to speak on one that kind of resonated to me. Company loyalty. All the recruiters out there or anybody that runs a business out there is going to hate to hear this one, but company loyalty does nothing for you if you're trying to make money. I don't know if anybody that comes to recruit is going to tell you, stay with the company. Heck no, man. If you're trying to make some money, you got to move around. Company loyalty doesn't exist.
Because you're working 2 jobs, it's very difficult. How are you able to manage, dealing with the main job and having like a side income? How are you able to keep a mental stability?
One of the things that I would say is very useful if you're trying to be a hard worker is to reward yourself. And making good money, of course you can save most of it, but sometimes you got to splurge, man. I love taking my friends out to eat, and I pay for it without a single thought because it makes me happy. I don't expect anything from my friends like that. That's kind of my stress relief. Going and blowing money.
Spending money is just a temporary thing, but memories will last forever.
Memories last forever, exactly.
Thank you so much. That's all the questions I have for you today. But, obviously I had my own set of questions. Was there anything that I haven't asked you that you wanted to say to the audience?
I came into this organization that, was just an open door and a hand out there to hold if you needed it. And I was a quiet kid that never spoke up to anybody and didn't do anything and ended up being somebody that's making over 6 figures at 22. And I got to attribute all of that to this student organization that has done so much for me and is doing so much for everybody in it. One thing that many of you will experience if you're just joining ABSA is you get a little intimidated, because you see all these people that have all these internships lined up and all these full-time positions lined up, and you think, how the heck did they do that? It does become intimidating.
Honestly, you said some amazing, inspirational words, and I'm really grateful that you were able to come here today and just give everyone the advice that you experienced yourself. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I will definitely link all of Ryan's social media in the bio below if you guys are really to talk to him. And like I said before, he's willing to talk to you guys, willing to ask, willing to answer any of the questions you guys have. So yeah, thank you so much, Ryan, for coming to me on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.